Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is Anthony from VR Game Rankings, and welcome to episode 38 of our daily vlog series. It, of course, is Thursday, November 23rd, and it is Thanksgiving here in the United States. And I'd like to say happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there in the USA and around the world as well. I know that Thanksgiving is basically a USA holiday, but the thing about Thanksgiving, basically what it is about, it's about giving thanks for all of the good things that we have. And I think this is important because a lot of times we go through our daily lives and it's so easy to focus on negative. It's so easy to focus on things that are going wrong, things that are going bad, what we don't like, etc., etc., etc. And it's a better idea if we start appreciating the good things that we have. No matter how small it might seem, we need to appreciate the good stuff. And so in honor of this Thanksgiving holiday, I thought it'd be a good idea to forget about VR news and forget about like the most recent VR stuff. I'm not going to worry about that on today's episode. This is Thanksgiving. I'm recording this on Thanksgiving, and I decided, what should we give thanks for? Well, one of the things that we can give thanks for is some of the amazing free content that has been showered upon VR gamers over the last couple of years, since VR launched. Now, the one thing about virtual reality is the equipment is expensive. There's no question about that. To buy the headsets, controllers, cables, accessories, the gaming PC that you need to be able to run this stuff, it all adds up and it all gets very expensive really quick. But there is one beautiful thing about being a VR gamer, and that's the fact that once you have all of this equipment, once you have all of this stuff, there's actually a lot of free content and a lot of really good content. And so what I thought I would do today is on the VR Game Rankings website, we have a list of the top 50 free Rift games and experiences. And I'm going to go off of this list. And it doesn't matter whether it's the Oculus Rift or it's the HTC Vive, because let's face it, HTC Vive owners, you can play all of this stuff with Revive. I'm just going to go off of this list because it has some more stuff on it. And it's just easier for me to go off of this list. But this is not a platform thing. We're being thankful today. It's not about platform politics. Let's just all enjoy this great VR stuff that we have. And so what I'm going to do on today's episode is I'm going to talk about the top 15 free games and experiences that are available. And this is on the top 50 Oculus Rift chart. But once again, just use Revive. All you HTC Vive owners, you guys can enjoy all this stuff as well. So I'm going to try to get through as many of these top 15 as I can. I thought let's just do 15 because we don't want this show to go forever. So number one on our list is Robo Recall, and I've talked about Robo Recall quite a bit. We've done the top 20 Oculus Rift games ranking, and Robo Recall was number one. And there was a comment actually in that video where somebody was like, Robo Recall, really? I know of so many games that are so better than Robo Recall. Why Robo Recall? Well, for me, Robo Recall, man, I don't know a lot of games better than Robo Recall, okay? I'm going to tell you, because when you get into this experience, just the comedy of it alone is so wonderful. Everything is so tight. It's so dialed in. This was one of our first examples of what AAA gaming in VR can be like. And this is what Epic Games delivered earlier this year. You can grab these robots, you can throw them around. One of the great things about Robo Recall is if you're stressed out, if you're having a day that has a lot of stress and you get home and you want like the equivalent of the modern day stress ball, that you squeeze, That's kind of what Robo Recall is. I said this about Gorn as well, but Robo Recall fits the mold as well. And what it is you can get into this game and you start throwing these robots around, you start smashing them into each other, and it just feels good. It's such a good release. That's Robo Recall at number 1, the number 1 free game or experience out there for any VR gamer. Now, this is free with Oculus Touch, so technically it is not free for HTC Vive gamers, but they can go ahead and pick that up as well if they want to go ahead and grab it. Number 2 on our list is Google Earth. And Google Earth, this is games and experiences, okay? So we're going to be mixing the two. Google Earth is, it's just one of these things. If you have someone coming over to check out your VR headset, maybe your mother-in-law, your father-in-law, somebody like that, Google Earth is a great thing to put somebody in because you can actually go to where their real home is located and have it set up. This is something that I've done. I've gone to where someone's house is, and I've set it up so that they're basically hovering in front of their own house, looking at their own house. And then I say, hey, put this on and check it out. And they're like, oh my God, that's my house right there. And it's the thing that everybody wants to do when they go into Google Earth. You want to check out the Grand Canyon, you want to go to New York and check out the skyscrapers and check out some amazing things like that. But you also want to go and check out your own house. And it's something that everybody does. And the reason why is because you're familiar with that place. You know that place. And so when you're hovering in front of your own house and you're looking around where your own house is, your own area, it boggles the mind because you're just thinking, wow, this is incredible. And now we have Street View that has been added to Google Earth. So Google Earth is one of the most amazing free programs out there. It's a great educational program as well. If I had Google Earth back when I was in, say, elementary school or like junior high and stuff, I could have learned geography a million times better because you can just zoom out, you can see all the cities, you can zoom into stuff, you can know where things are. Hell, even nowadays, I use Google Earth and I can realize, oh, this is where that place is, that's where that place is. You get a feel for where everything is just by zooming in and zooming out. Google Earth is one of the most amazing free experiences we have, and we have it at number 2 on this ranking. Number 3 is First Contact by Oculus. And so, man, I don't even know what to say about First Contact because what I'll say about it is if I'm going to put somebody into VR for the very first time, this is probably my number 1 pick. Now, my number 1 pick used to be number 4, what we're going to get to right after this, but I don't want to spoil that. So I'll just say it used to be number 4, but now it's number 3, and it's First Contact. And the reason why I choose First Contact as one of the best experiences to put a brand new person into is it's the rendering engine. It's like the lighting. It's just everything just looks so good. If the resolution of these headsets was just a little bit higher, you could almost fool somebody into believing that this is almost like some real stuff that's going on here. It just looks so good in First Contact. You can grab things, you can pick things up. There's lots of interactivity. I really loved First Contact. One of my favorite experiences, and definitely one of the first things that I pop people into anytime I'm showing them a VR headset for the first time. Okay, so number 4, Robot Repair from the Lab. Now, this used to be the number 1 experience that I would put people in, and that was before I discovered First Contact. Now, First Contact is the one. But before that, it was Robot Repair from the Lab. And I still go back and I'll say this, that if you can have your memory completely wiped, and if you could experience all of these things for the very first time again, what would be one of the most powerful experiences you could have if you could just erase your memory and do it all over again? And Robot Repair from the Lab was one of the most powerful that I ever experienced. I remember the very first day I got my HTC Vive, trying my Vive out for the very first time, getting into the lab, and trying Robot Repair, I was just flabbergasted. I was just blown away. Once again, the rendering engine, the lighting, the clarity, the focus of the experience, the sound quality, just everything is so dialed in here by Valve. It's a relatively short experience, but it is incredibly powerful. So Robot Repair from the lab is number 4 on this ranking. Number 5, Rec Room. We were just talking about Rec Room yesterday on yesterday's vlog. I actually played Rec Room last night. Hadn't been in Rec Room for a while and thought I would try it out real quick. I had never tried it out using my Oculus Rift. Tried it out. It worked out great. They've made so many improvements to Rec Room. It has improved by leaps and bounds. I haven't been in there in the longest time. They have laser tag. There's all kinds of different little activities that you can do in Rec Room now. And everybody was friendly. I was in there last night. People were friendly. They were helpful. It was a great time. Rec Room is such an incredible piece of software. And this is available now for everybody on PlayStation VR, Oculus Rift, HTC Vive. Everybody can play it. It's even coming to the Microsoft mixed reality headsets as well very soon. And Rec Room, just think of all the great free activities that you have that you can participate in Rec Room. It is wonderful. You can go into paintball and laser tag, and some of these modes are as good as full games that are being sold for 20 bucks, 15 bucks and stuff like that. Some of these modes are just as good, and you can get them completely free in Rec Room. And there's great voice chat, and people are typically friendly and helpful. It's a wonderful experience. That's Rec Room at number 5. Number 6, we go to Echo Arena. Now, Echo Arena was only going to be free for a limited time, but now it is free forever. And I think it's a great decision that Oculus has made here. Just make this thing free. Give it away to everybody. Let everybody participate. So even if you have, Revive and all that stuff, you guys can play Echo Arena. Echo Arena is a fabulous experience when you get in there and you're throwing that frisbee around, and just the way you move through the world, the way you glide through the world. The only problem I have with Echo Arena is that every time I get in there, I just absolutely get smoked. Now, I haven't been in there in a long time, so it's possible that they've added some other stuff to it now, which helps kind of with the matchmaking. But it was just the only problem I ever had with it is just I wasn't good enough, and I would just get absolutely demolished by the real experts that are in Echo Arena. But it is a great game. It's a fun experience. You can just float around in the lobby and in the play area. There's lots of people to talk to and have a great time. Once again, Echo Arena, an absolutely free experience that everybody should check out. Lucky's Tale is at number 7 for us. And Lucky's Tale, this is free for everybody. You can have an HTC Vive. You can download Lucky's Tale. All you have to do is set up an Oculus account, and you can download this. You don't need touch or anything like that. And Lucky's Tale, I'll tell you what, so many people I know, they don't give these third-person games a chance. They want to have a sword in one hand. They want to have a shield in the other. And after playing Skyrim VR, I understand the appeal. I know you want to be in that VR world. You want to have it completely surrounding you. You want to have your boots on the ground, and you want to feel like you're there in the VR world. And I understand that, but we can't throw the baby out with the bathwater, because third-person VR gaming can be incredible as well. When I first played Lucky's Tale, and I'm moving my character along, and I'm looking at this world, and it's so colorful, and I'm looking at the waterfalls, and I'm looking at the green grass, and everything is just bright and cheerful. And it's like you're in the Mushroom Kingdom or something. It's like you're in a Mario world or a Sonic world, and it's been brought to life. I remember playing Super Mario World. I remember playing Sonic the Hedgehog. This is way back in the early 90s. We could have never dreamed of having a Mario or Sonic world completely surround us and be able to control a character and move a character through a world like that. Absolutely incredible. Lucky's Tale is awesome. It is developed by Playful. They're, of course, working on Star Child for the PlayStation VR, which I'm incredibly excited about that. If you guys have not seen that Star Child trailer, you should definitely check that out. But Lucky's Tale, free experience. Do not throw the baby out with the bathwater. Third-person VR gaming has its place, and it's obvious when you play Lucky's Tale for a while. You kind of see that. Okay, number 8 on our list, the Budget Cuts demo. Talked about this yesterday, of course, that Budget Cuts is still alive and all of that sort of thing. But the demo, this is the original demo, and it is free. And if you have an Oculus Rift or an HTC Vive, you can try this demo out. And this is another great experience. If you have a new person, never tried VR before, this is one of the early things that you want to put them in, because it'll give them an idea of just how immersive this whole thing is. And I don't know what exactly it is about Budget Cuts, but when you first start off in Budget Cuts and you're in that hallway and the sunlight is coming through the window and you see the carpet and you see the walls, something about it, maybe it's just very plain and static, but it just seems so real. It seems like you're really there. You pick up that little potted plant, you throw it down the hallway. I know everybody did that. I did that. And then you're teleporting around, and the robots, oh my God, the first time you see the robots, you're scared shitless, when you see these robots, because the first time I was in VR, I was super scared of these robots because they're full size, they're 6 feet tall and they look real. And after you kill them, you can pick them up and you can dangle them around and swing them around and do all kinds of crazy things. Budget Cuts demo is awesome. We're looking forward to the full release of Budget Cuts, hopefully very early in 2018. We'll have to see what happens to that. At number 9 is Dead and Buried. Now, this is free with the Oculus Touch. So Revive owners, you would have to buy this separately, or I actually know a few HTC Vive owners. They actually bought the Oculus Touch and got all those games and stuff, and then sold off the other equipment and did it that way. So that's another way you can do it. But Dead and Buried is a free game. It's a free experience. It's kind of this Wild West shooter type of thing. There's multiplayer, there's single player, incredibly colorful, very fun, very enjoyable. This was made, I believe, it's Oculus Studios in combination with Gunfire Games. They've done so much in VR, so many great things, and this is just another outstanding game. Dead and Buried, number 9. Number 10 is a non-game. Back to a non-game. We're talking about Oculus Dream Deck. And you know how I talked about First Contact and I talked about Robot Repair from the lab? This is another great non-game that you can throw somebody in. And I think it's just absolute must-play demo material for somebody that is trying VR for the first time. Of course, you have the infamous T-Rex scene, which everybody knows that. And you look down that hallway, you see the T-Rex. It comes charging at you. It stops. It's just breathing in your face. Kind of its spit and stuff gets all over you, and it just walks right over you, and it freaks you out, but it's so powerful. It's so incredible. It's a great experience to put somebody in. There's lots of little things that are in Dream Deck. There's lots of different experiences. I like the one where you have the fox and you're in this super colorful world, and you have the stream and you have the trees, and it just looks incredibly colorful, very vibrant. That is a really cool world that you're in. At one point, you're on top of a skyscraper. It seems like you're in Gotham, like it's Batman or something, and you're way up high. You're on top of a skyscraper. You're looking down. You see all the cars moving around. This is one that will get you. If you do have a fear of heights, this will trigger your fear of heights. It's very powerful, very intense. Lots of good stuff to screw around with in the Oculus Dream Deck demo. Absolute must-try material. And if you have Revive, this works perfectly fine in Revive. The first time I played this, many of the first times I played this was all done in Revive. So absolutely take advantage of that. Number 11 for us is Zortex 26XX. This is obviously from the lab. Now, when it comes to VR game rankings, we break up all the pieces of the lab and we try to give them their proper due. Honestly, Zortex 26XX, I don't think this experience gets anywhere near the amount of respect that it really probably should get. It's better than so many full games out there, but a lot of people just kind of discount it because they think, oh, it's short, there's not a lot to it. No, there's a lot here. There's like an endless mode. They've updated it. There, you can chase high scores, leaderboards, stuff like that. And yeah, it's a relatively tight and narrow experience, but it is just done so well. I remember the very first time I did Zort X26XX, I thought to myself, oh my God, there's going to be 1 million of these things. You know, so many other developers are going to see this and they're going to think, oh my God, I could make like for example, Konami. Think of all the shooter games they have, Gradius and all of that. Think of all those kinds of games that could be given the Zort X26XX treatment. And we really haven't got that. I thought we'd have an avalanche of these games by now, but we haven't really gotten that yet. But Zort X is really powerful. The clarity of everything in Zort X. Like, I remember in the early days of the HTC Vive, a lot of people would complain, everything is so blurry, everything is so fuzzy. And I would always tell them, go into Zort X26XX because it is not fuzzy, it is not blurry, especially if you play the standard version where there's a boss and you get to the boss. Next time you play it, I want you to get as close to that boss as you can and just look at it, just marvel at how incredible that boss looks. It's like you're looking at a hologram. It's crystal clear. It looks great, even with the lower resolution of these headsets. Whatever Valve did with the rendering engine, it was a great job. Wonderful. That's Zort X26XX. Number 12 on our list is Henry, and this is from Oculus Story Studio. And Henry is a great example to kind of see where things would be with, say, a Pixar experience in VR. Now, I know we just recently got Coco, and Coco is a really good experience, but honestly, I think Henry actually is a little bit more of what I was kind of thinking about when it comes to Pixar and when it comes to that kind of experience. It's just so colorful. It's so bright. You're inside a children's storybook, basically. This little story that takes place. You are a first-person participant in this world. You feel like you're there. It's happening all around you. It's kind of the first idea of where we're going with VR storytelling. And I think Oculus Story Studios, it's a damn shame they had to close this down, but they did such a good job with Henry. It's absolutely a must try. And I played this many times through Revive, did not have an Oculus Rift back then. This is a wonderful thing too. If you have a younger child, you know, a 7-8-year-old child, this would be a magical experience to put that child into, and they could just enjoy the beautiful thing that is going on as far as Henry is concerned. That's, of course, Oculus Story Studios. At number 13, we have Longbow. And this is another part of the lab. Again, I believe all of the individual pieces of the lab should be separated and should be celebrated individually. Let's not throw the lab into one big pot. There's too much good stuff here, and the Longbow is one of those really good things. And again, it's like we have individual VR games that I don't think are as good as what we get from the Longbow. So let's not shortchange Longbow, because it is incredibly solid. It's a great entertainment property that you can play around with. Just the physics of pulling the arrow and the haptic feedback that you get, shooting the little guys that are running around, the balloons, the visuals, the rendering engine that they use, the lighting, everything just comes together so well. The sound is really good. Longbow is a fabulous experience. We've had a lot of bow and arrow type experiences in VR since Longbow has arrived, but I'm honestly not sure that we've had another bow and arrow experience that quite has that haptic feedback that we got in the Longbow. I still think it's one of the best examples of the haptic feedback that you get with the HTC Vive wands, and Longbow is incredibly powerful. You absolutely have to play this. I haven't been in it in a long time, but this is another great experience to put people in if they're new to VR, they haven't used VR in a while, because it's relatively simple. Just, you know, pull it back, let the arrows fly, see how far you can get, and it's very challenging, and it can get very hectic after a while. So that is Longbow at number 13. Number 14 is Waltz of the Wizard, and this is another non-game scenario. I wouldn't really count this as a game per se. It is a VR experience, and it is a powerful VR experience. If you kind of wanted the feel of what it would be like to play, say, a Harry Potter type game in VR, that's what Waltz of the Wizard will give you. In fact, it will also give you the feeling of, say, like Force Push from like Star Wars or something, because at a certain point in Waltz of the Wizard, you get to play with physics, and you're basically controlling like large things and throwing it around the room and using your force powers, almost kind of Harry Potter style, throwing things around the room. Lots of different things you can do in Waltz of the Wizard. They even added some more stuff recently to Waltz of the Wizard, so be sure to check it out. There's lots of stuff to play around with in here. It is completely free. This has been made by Alden Dynamics. And, you know, this is Thanksgiving. We're giving thanks for all of these things, and we have to be thankful for all of these VR companies that have provided all this free stuff. It's just absolutely wonderful what a lot of these companies have done. And I think we need to remember a lot of these companies' names when they do bring out a paid content. Maybe support them a little bit because of all the free stuff they gave us. We need to remember this with these companies that have given us some amazing free content. Okay, so at number 15, this is the final one I wanted to get to in our Thanksgiving Day episode. And this is accounting, and it's Squanch Tendo. It's Crows. This is like Justin Rowland, and it's the co-creator of Rick and Morty, and also one of the co-creators of the Stanley Parable. They got together and created Squanch Tendo, and accounting is one of their first releases, and it's in collaboration with Crows. And this is just a comedy experience like none other. I mean, really, there isn't anything that you can really describe like this. It does have kind of that Rick and Morty sensibilities. It's an interesting kind of comedy, but you go into this experience, and it's kind of hard to describe because a lot of different things are happening, but it will make you laugh, it'll make you smile, and it is just an outstanding experience to go into. Accounting by Squanch Tendo, absolutely wonderful. So these are just 15 of our top 50 free games and experiences. There's so more. You go to number 16, Big Screen VR. Number 17 is Lost, which is similar to Henry. Number 18, The Cubicle. Oh my God, so underrated. The Cubicle is great. Mayubi is one of the best 360 videos I've ever seen. That's at number 19. Allumette is at number 20 by Penrose Studios. That is incredible. We have Alt Space VR at number 21. Irrational Exuberance by Buffalo Vision at number 22. Destinations by Valve at 23. Destinations is awesome. Blade Runner 2049 Memory Lab. This is one that has jumped up the list recently. This is a very new experience that we got. This has jumped up to number 24. Number 25 is Dear Angelica, which you wouldn't think that some type of like cartoon drawing would be that powerful, but it really is. You got to see Dear Angelica. You got to see it happen as it's happening all around you in the sound. Really powerful. Rip Coil is at 26. So these are just some examples. So much great free stuff. And that's what Thanksgiving is all about. We're being thankful for all of the good stuff that we have. And hey, all of this free stuff, we got to be thankful as VR gamers. We're always complaining that we don't have this, we don't have that. Let's be thankful for all the incredible free stuff that we do have to play around with. We do have to screw around with. And today on Thanksgiving, maybe try some of these experiences that you haven't tried in maybe over a year. Some of these things you might not have tried, and go back into them, try them again, or show them to somebody new and pass that joy along. Spread the joy. That's what Thanksgiving is all about. Let's be thankful. Let's be grateful. We've got so much. Think about how incredibly lucky we are that we are living in this particular time frame, and we get to experience VR. We get to experience AR, and there's going to be so many incredible things that are going to come that are going to come down the pipe over the next couple of years in VR and AR. It is going to be absolutely awesome. So anyway, guys, We of course have hit the 29 minute mark, as I always seem to get to the 29-minute mark, but that is going to wrap it up for this particular episode. This is episode 38 for November 23rd. It is Thanksgiving. Everybody have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and I will be back tomorrow on Black Friday, and I will get back to the news, and we'll cover all the Black Friday deals, and we'll talk about some stuff tomorrow. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take it easy. Later.